Thank you for joining me for another episode of Dread Captures, and as always, I'm glad you found your way here. Now, let's get this party started and get into the captures. Let's kick this video off and get our adrenaline pumping. Now, when this video first came on the scene, everyone was saying that this was a Skinwalker. And maybe it is, but no matter what's going on, this is scary. Look at how he kind of kicks the door, and look at those teeth. I'm curious if anyone can identify whether this is a wolf or a coyote. In Guatemala, a strange and unexplained incident occurred, leaving viewers both confused and fascinated. This event, captured in a video by an unnamed park ranger, while on duty in Tikal, the ranger recorded an unusual noise coming from the woods. He noted that in his years of experience, he had never encountered such a sound. Some viewers of the video suggested the noise might be linked to a traditional Scandinavian method of calling livestock. It's known for its melodious and powerful tones. However, this theory brings more questions than answers. The video was filmed at night in a secluded part of the forest. Despite searching, the ranger found no evidence of anyone camping or living in the area, and he has no idea what or who could have made these sounds. There have been a variety of speculations, but the mysterious sounds are still unknown. Let me know in the comments what you think. A journey that started off as normal quickly turned into a startling experience. And boy, are people going crazy over it. Initially, the video shows a drive down a deserted road at night, but it takes a disturbing turn. When slowed down and zoomed in, the woman in the footage appears headless. The comment section is going nuts with guesses about her identity. Some viewers think she might be a lost traveler or even a local in trouble, while others think this is something supernatural. They're even comparing it to traditional stories of figures in white that haunt isolated roads. For now, most people are puzzled. They can't even decide whether the woman is an actual person needing assistance or something that's visiting us from the grave. This footage captures a group of gray whales on their yearly migration journey. But there's more to the scene, as a pair of orcas are trailing right behind them. It's not uncommon for killer whales to go after gray whales, but they typically go for the young ones because they're easier to catch. In this clip though, you can see the orcas aggressively bumping into the adult gray whales and nipping at their fins. The person who filmed this mentioned there were about 16 orcas launching bold attacks, leaving the gray whales injured. Despite the relentless assault, the mighty gray whales used their powerful tails to fight off the orcas and made it to the safety of shallow waters, where they managed to survive. Man, it is just an intense reminder of the raw survival instincts in nature. First of all, orcas are known as apex predators, and seeing them take on such large adults is a testament to their hunting prowess. The gray whale's resistance and escape to shallow waters shows just how formidable they can be, even when under threat. In this next clip, a paranormal group has traveled to a man's ranch because he's been seeing strange things pop up on his trail cameras. They go on to discuss the wolf appearing out of nowhere. Now, common sense would tell you that the camera just picked the wolf up when it came into view. However, the group investigating says the camera was triggered in recording before the wolf was ever visible. So, do you guys think it was just the camera's slow reaction time, or do you think we might have a possible Skinwalker sighting, like they're saying? A hair-raising photo shared on the Ghosts of London Facebook page has sparked intense debate, leading thousands of people wondering about the existence of the supernatural. A few years ago, a Carlisle, UK resident went on a backpacking trip to Australia, leaving his two-bedroom Victorian house empty. To keep his home secure, he installed an Android camera connected to his Google Home system, and it was set to trigger on movement. He placed the camera in the living room, and while he was away, he started receiving startling alerts from his camera. a photo showing more than just an occupied room. The image, clear and eerie, seems to show a shadowy hooded figure in the empty living room. Worried about his home's security, the homeowner asked his father to check the house. When his father went over, he found the house secure and undisturbed, no signs of a break-in. This photograph, now widely shared online, has captured the attention and imagination of many. Now, join the skeptics and believers in debating the nature of this apparent apparition. In the remote wilderness captured through the lens of a high-res drone camera, a captivating scene unfolded between a moose and a wolf by a lake in northern Ontario. The moose was initially seen in shallow waters near the shore when the drone operator zoomed in for a closer look. Suddenly, a wolf burst from the underbrush, clamping onto the moose. The moose fought back, managing to fend off the wolf with powerful kicks. The moose then led the wolf into deeper waters. In this environment, the moose has a distinct advantage. The deeper water will impede the wolf's movements and ability to attack. The moose seeking refuge in deeper water showcases a natural defense mechanism and the moose's instinctive knowledge of its strengths and the environment around him. And this ultimately led to the wolf giving up. For now. A TikTok video by user Jessica Marquez 785 has gone viral, stirring up a lot of discussion on social media. The video, shot on a rural property, showcases something unusual, attracting considerable attention and leading to various questions about what it might be. Many commenters have proposed different theories, with one suggesting it could be a phenomenon known as St. Elmo's Fire. Now, this is a concept deeply embedded in Filipino culture and mythology. The belief is seen in various ways. Some see St. Elmo as representing the souls of those who perish in water and are bound to certain places, while others link it to the souls of unbaptized children seeking help or vengeance. These mysterious fireballs are often reported in rural areas, and there are even accounts of these dating back to the colonial era. There are legends warning of the dangers of following St. Elmo, likening it to the will-o'-the-wisp, with stories of it chasing people and then disappearing. Now, on the scientific front, St. Elmo's Fire is explained as luminous plasma or ball lightning. However, the question remains whether this TikTok video is a genuine capture of St. Elmo's Fire, or a natural part of science, or a fabricated piece for viral popularity. This next clip is really something. A man from the States traveled all the way to Brazil to capture video of one of the last members of the most isolated tribes in the world. The guy grabbed his camera and was able to capture some unusual clips. The guy was spotted cutting down trees without even noticing the man was there. No one really knows what happened to the rest of the tribe. The Brazilian government has been following this man for more than a decade, and this footage was thought to be one of the rarest clips ever. Long before the term creepypasta became widely recognized internet slang, and ghostly images started trending on TikTok, there existed a particularly unsettling photograph that found its niche in the darker recesses of the online world. The origins of this photograph date back much further than most viral internet scares. For those unfamiliar, the image in question is a genuine black and white photograph taken in the late 1940s. At first glance, it looks like a typical joyful shot of a newlywed couple. Yet, as many have found, taking a closer look reveals something deeply eerie. Hidden within the image is an inexplicable figure lurking in the background. We see the figure with few unidentifiable features. The narrative deepens with the story of the original discoverer of the photograph. Family elders, upon reviewing the photo, were puzzled. No one could recognize or explain this peculiar, ghostly figure. But the intrigue doesn't end there. The photograph, creepy as it is with its mysterious onlooker, is also intertwined with a tragic tale. Legend suggests that not long after this picture was snapped, the couple and their guests fell victim to a series of ominous disasters. The most heart-wrenching of these was a grisly car accident, which took the lives of multiple wedding attendees on their way home. This prompted whispers among those who knew of the photograph. Could the tragedies be somehow linked to the figure in the background? Now, while the origins and truths behind this photograph remain unclear, its allure hasn't ended. Continuously circulating the depths of the internet, the image acts as a magnet, drawing in the curious souls of the viewers. This frightening footage from a doorbell camera was shared by Michael Hernandez in December of 2017. It captures a fire starting on a neighbor's property. As the video rolls, the fire grows. Slowly at first, but then it begins to take over the whole yard. And it's all caught on camera. Before long, the flames are licking at the roof of the house. In the midst of the roaring fire, the homeowner appears at the front door, clearly stunned to see his yard ablaze. He grabs a small fire extinguisher, but it's soon apparent that the fire is too much for him to handle. The man later mentioned that his Ring doorbell app had been alerting him about activity at his front door. After ignoring the first few alerts, the fourth notification finally got his attention. He credits the doorbell as saving his life. His fiancée quickly called 911 and they managed to get out safely through the back door. Fortunately, nobody was hurt in the frightening incident. It's pretty clear that the Ring doorbell app played a crucial role in alerting the family to danger. And it shows that they really help. And they're not just here for our entertainment, to capture cryptids and paranormal activity. A successful GoFundMe campaign was set up, and both homeowners were able to rebuild their homes. As a plane flew above an unknown region of China, a passenger saw an unbelievable sight out his window. You can see a disc-like UFO hovering effortlessly next to the plane. All of a sudden, we see a poof of black smoke and what appears to be a missile or something similar. Now, of course, the potential UFO is the star of this clip, but one of the strangest parts of this video to me is the black smoke. The original videos don't even mention it. I found that very strange. Then again, maybe that's normal in China. I don't know. The video's quality is very crisp, and experts that examine it were able to determine that the object was moving close to 24,000 miles per hour. So, with that being said, let me know what you guys think about this. A woman at home with her toddler keeps hearing a baby crying in her home. Except there is not another baby there. What do you guys think of this? I'm seeing more and more videos pop up like this. A lot of people are calling them skinwalkers, but some are saying that they're mimics. So they basically mimic the noises, voices, etc. of someone or something in hopes of luring you to them. That's freaking creepy. In this clip, a man hears his voice coming from another room, telling him to come here. What?
There. Hold on. Come with me.
We see here as a mother and son are watching TV. The young boy hears a voice disguised as his mother's, and without question, he gets up to run in the direction of the voice. Luckily, mom heard it too and was right there and was able to intervene. This clip is a short compilation of Skinwalker dogs. Most of these pups seem normal, but they all possess the human-like eyes that mark a potential Skinwalker. In the early days of the internet, a particular photograph began circulating on various forums. This image wasn't just any ordinary picture. It piqued the interest of people globally, waking up feelings of intrigue, fear, and confusion. Even as the digital age advanced, this odd photo somehow resurfaced, reigniting conversations and theories about its haunting context. Nobody really knew who the original owner of the photograph was, and that deepened the mystery. As the story goes, this photograph can trace its roots back to a lively house party in the early 2000s. If you take a look at the image, you'll notice a bunch of partygoers, lost in the moment, dancing the night away. Everything seemed normal at first glance. Everything seemed normal. These people were turning up. However, it wasn't until days later when the film was developed that something peculiar was noticed by the homeowner. There, lurking subtly in the backdrop, was an unidentifiable figure. No one who had been at the party remembered someone fitting that description. Furthermore, look at the photo. What is this thing? And if that wasn't unsettling enough, upon closer inspection, one could spot several glowing orbs floating around in the picture. Combined, the uninvited guest and these orbs led many viewers to wonder, could this image be genuine evidence of something supernatural? Were people just partying too hard and they didn't even notice? The plot thickened even more when whispers of an urban legend began circulating on an old online forum. This legend spoke of a tragic death that supposedly happened in the very house where the party took place. Naturally, many jumped to the chilling conclusion that perhaps the orbs and the ghostly figure were trying to communicate from the other side. Maybe even the spirit of the person who met their untimely end in that house. But, as of now, the truth about this eerie photograph remains a mystery, just as odd as the ghostly figure it seems to showcase. A man captured a remarkable moment last winter, when an adult bull moose began shaking its head, ultimately resulting in the shedding of its large antlers. This event, while it's common to find shed antlers, is rarely witnessed and captured on camera. That's the cool part. The man was fortunate to record this uncommon occurrence. After the moose left, the man pinned the location and promptly went to retrieve the valuable antlers. The Dogman is a cryptid that's fascinating and eerie, often described as having a human-like body with the head of a dog. Witnesses reported as a towering figure, sometimes reaching 7 feet tall when standing upright on 2 legs. What adds to its mystique is its ability to switch effortlessly from bipedal to all fours, enhancing its predatory aspect. This duality in movement allows the Dogman to navigate rough terrains with alarming speed and agility, similar to a wolf. Sightings usually come with reports of a deep, resonating howl that adds to its fearsome reputation. The creature's shape-shifting posture, from walking like a human to sprinting like an animal, gives it a supernatural edge in the histories of cryptid lore. Despite the fear it invokes, the Dogman continues to be an intriguing topic for those interested in the paranormal and unexplained wilderness encounters. Some disturbing footage here has left viewers rattled. This homeowner noticed that their dog was acting unusually, so they decided to record what was going on. As they peer around the corner, 2 bright eyes can be seen lurking in the darkness. Whatever it is, it's clear that it has the dog on high alert. Some viewers were unnerved by the sighting, speculating it could be some kind of cryptid hiding in the darkness of the yard, while others thought it could simply be a raccoon or some other furry critter. However, that begs the question, wouldn't the dog just chase it down, instead of appearing so frightened? In my experience with dogs, if that was a raccoon, the chase and/or the fight would be on. So what do you guys think this could be? Drop me a comment, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. This next clip comes from the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch organization. They recently received an intriguing photograph of Bigfoot from central Minnesota. A lady named Alicia S., one of RMSO's contributors, sent them a snapshot of a Sasquatch in the heart of Minnesota. This photo was originally captured by a friend's daughter who was photographing deer for her father. It wasn't until 3 days later, after magnifying the image, that they noticed a figure being observed by one of the deer. The girl said their German Shepherd has been on edge since the day they took that photo. None of them really knew why, but now they think they do. RMSO got back to her, finding the whole story fascinating, and asked if Alicia resided near the spot where the picture was taken. And yes, she confirmed that she spent her entire life there. Minnesota is a hotbed for Bigfoot. Every member of her family has their own Sasquatch tale to tell. What do you guys think of this picture? Like I said, Minnesota is known for an abundance of Bigfoot sighting reports, including a few videos and pictures. And Bigfoot is infamous for monitoring game animals like deer and elk. So this isn't the first evidence of Bigfoot seen spying on these game animals. Very similar to what he's doing in this picture. Anyhow, let me know what you guys think. I'm interested. A seemingly ordinary video by a TikTok user has stirred up viewers due to a sudden peculiarity. The footage, originally intended to showcase deer grazing in a parkland, took an unforeseen turn, leading online to a flurry of speculation and debate. Watch what happens. While driving past two grazing deer, the camera inexplicably captures a third deer appearing as if out of nowhere. Close observations of the footage from its beginning show that there are only two deer present, which had everyone guessing where the abrupt appearance of the third came from. One of the main theories put forward by viewers labels this as a potential glitch in the Matrix. The idea is based on the concept that we live in a simulated reality, much like the premise of the famous science fiction film, The Matrix. According to this perspective, the unanticipated third deer could be a result of a mistake in the system's coding, causing it to materialize without a logical explanation. I don't usually err on that side of stuff, but this is definitely strange. On the other hand, skeptics attribute the appearance of the third deer to an illusion of perspective. They suggest that the deer might have walked up out of the line of sight, which made it seem as though it materialized out of thin air. This sounds more likely to me. As the debate continues, the lingering question is, was this a genuine system glitch, providing evidence for the simulation theory, or merely a misinterpreted optical illusion? When I first watched this video, I thought, how in the world is this heron going to choke down this live snake? I thought he just snatched him right out of the water. But as you watch, when he tosses the snake in the air a little bit, you can see that he's dead. That makes things a little easier, I'd imagine. Herons are skilled hunters and can consume live snakes as part of their diet. However, when a heron catches a live snake, it typically uses its sharp beak to grasp and immobilize the snake. Its beak is designed to pierce and impale its prey, allowing for easier manipulation and swallowing. Once the snake is immobilized, the heron may swallow it whole or break it into smaller pieces before ingestion. Even when dead, snakes may be able to struggle or bite while being swallowed by the heron, but the heron's throat has adaptations to protect it from injury. They have a flexible esophagus that can expand to accommodate large prey items and muscles that can move and position the prey to aid in swallowing. Nevertheless, this is an awesome video, and down the hatch he goes. This is just an incredible video right here. Taken on June 3rd of 2020 in Alta, Norway, we see video of a landslide sweeping 8 houses out to sea. I want to let you hear the ground separating, so take a listen. The landslide was 800 meters wide and is said to have whisked away a vehicle as well. A dog that was dragged out to sea managed to swim safely back to land. This is just a short clip of this event, but if you're interested, you can look it up. I've seen some good interviews. There were multiple contributing factors playing a part in this devastating destruction. To me, just a constant reminder, don't mess with nature. Deep in the heart of the Appalachian Trail, Jillian, a seasoned hiker, found herself on a solo adventure. She had experienced the whispering winds, sun-dappled valleys, and rugged mountain peaks before, but this time, her encounter would transcend natural experiences. Late one evening, she had just finished setting up her campsite when an eerie feeling washed over her. The once serene forest, alive with the chatter of woodland creatures, fell into an unsettling silence. The sudden shift in atmosphere gave her a shiver, but she brushed it off as the natural ebb and flow of wilderness. As the sun completely surrendered to the night, she began to hear a strange rustling in the distance. Her eyes strained in the dim moonlight, catching sight of a figure moving stealthily amongst the trees. It was tall, its shape vaguely human, but there was an animalistic quality to its movements that was chilling. The moonlight cast long shadows over its features, and its eyes reflected a disconcerting glowing amber. Fear coiled in her stomach as the figure started to approach her campsite. Jillian had heard the legends of Skinwalkers, mystical beings capable of transforming into any animal they desired, with eyes that reflected the fire of their spirit. While she had always considered such tales as local folklore, the figure before her was making her question her skepticism. Taking a deep breath, she stepped out from her tent, holding up her flashlight. She shone the beam at the creature. It was grotesque, a bizarre mix of man and beast. Its body was humanoid, but it had the snout of a wolf and similar ears. Its fur-covered skin seemed to ripple and shift with every moment, as if unable to decide its form. The creature's glowing amber eyes never left her. Summoning all her courage, Jillian called out, "Who are you? What do you want?" The creature tilted its head, a seemingly curious gesture. Then, in a chilling voice that sounded like the rustling leaves and growling beasts, it uttered her name, Jillian. Jillian's blood turned to ice. She stepped back, nearly stumbling over her campfire. She wanted to run, but a primal part of her told her to stand her ground. She stared into the creature's eyes and yelled, "Leave now!" In response, the creature let out a growl that echoed through the forest, the sound resonating with a primal and unnatural timbre. For a moment it stood there, its strange eyes boring into her. Then it turned and walked away, vanishing, blending seamlessly into the night. Jillian was left shaking and breathless. She would later leave the trail, her adventurous spirit replaced by a deep-seated uneasiness. The encounter stayed with her, reminding her of the mysteries that lay in the untouched parts of the world. She may never know if it was a Skinwalker she encountered, or perhaps even a Dogman. Either way, her perspective on the wilderness and the tales it concealed was forever changed. Her encounter served as a chilling reminder that even in the world's most traversed paths, ancient mysteries can still unfold, resonating the whispered secrets of the Appalachian Mountains. In this perplexing footage, we initially observe two children, a boy and a girl, making their way along an unspecified path. The fact that this event is captured by a trail camera in the late hours of the night already instills the scene with an eerie quality. As the siblings advance, the camera captures a vague, indistinguishable creature lurking behind the dense foliage, signaling the children to approach. Curiosity piqued, or perhaps lured by the creature's beckoning, the children begin to follow it. The clip takes an even more chilling turn as the creature seems to lead them deeper into the woods, away from the beaten path, their figures disappearing into the darkness. The resulting barrage of questions heightens the unnerving nature of the footage. Who are these children? Where did they come from? And more crucially, why did they follow this creature into the forest? And I gotta be honest, the person leading the girl holding her hand doesn't look much like a person. I don't know. Despite the alarming implications, the clip ends with no clear answers. The identities of the kids, their relationships with the mysterious creature, and what transpired in the woods all remains hidden in mystery. The chilling footage serves as a haunting reminder of the potentially sinister events that can unfold unnoticed in the depths of the night. AKA, my parents were right. Nothing good does happen after midnight. A man with a trail camera and an affinity for the wild decided to introduce a lighthearted twist into his usual outdoor adventures. As an avid observer of the woodland creatures frequenting the forest near his home, he hatches a playful plan to engage these animals in an unconventional yet amusing interaction. In this unique experiment, the man strategically placed stuffed animals, bunny bears to be precise, at various locations in the woods right within the line of sight of his trail camera. These colorful, cuddly toys are not what the forest animals would normally encounter in their natural habitat, adding a bit of an element of surprise to their regular routine. As the camera starts recording, it captures the delightful reactions of the animals as they discover these unusual furry newcomers. The raccoons, being naturally curious and known for their dexterity, are the first to investigate the intriguing objects. They are actually seen lovingly interacting with the bunny bears, their actions showcasing a mix of curiosity, caution, and playfulness. Porcupines, too, join in this unique experience. Normally solitary creatures, they display a rare interest in the cuddly toys, exploring and sniffing around them in a surprisingly gentle manner. Even the bears, obviously known for their formidable strength and sometimes aggressive behavior, cannot resist the charm of these stuffed animals. The camera captures them approaching the toys and playfully interacting with them in their own bear-like way, providing an unusual and heartwarming sight. This unorthodox experiment ends up offering a unique and endearing insight into the behaviors of woodland animals when presented with unexpected elements in their environment. More than just capturing animal interactions, the footage underscores the surprising, softer side of wildlife that often remains hidden from human eyes. This is just a really cool video. Let me know what you guys think of it. Our next footage was shared by a TikTok user named Real Horror Talk. While the video's origin is a mystery, it has sparked quite a discussion due to its content. Initially, the video seems commonplace, featuring two guys recording a deer or maybe sheep playfully in the distance. However, it soon captures something utterly crazy on film. A sizable bipedal creature is seen chasing the animals. At a quick glance, you assume it's a human, but then you take into account its considerable size, and I don't think so. You can hear one of the men, he even suggests the creature could be a skinwalker.
Guy? What the frick? What was that?
Skinwalkers have an infamous standing in folklore, notably among the Navajo people. They are perceived to be harmful witches capable of morphing, possessing, or masquerading as some type of animal or person. Steeped in supernatural tales, these creatures are generally wicked, inflicting harm out of jealousy or revenge or to acquire power. These witches are said to transform into animals, imitate human voices, and even possess a person's body. And in many indigenous cultures, talking about skinwalkers is strictly prohibited, as it's believed to draw their attention. So could this be a rare sighting of a skinwalker in action, or is there a more logical explanation? Unfortunately, the truth remains hidden. The lack of details regarding this video makes it impossible to authenticate its legitimacy, and honestly, the poor quality of the video only adds to the uncertainty. Many skeptics have posted that the figure could just be a person in a costume or a well-executed hoax. As it currently stands, the footage provokes more questions than it provides answers. I'm pretty blown away by this next clip. Apparently, a man was driving his car down a busy road when a mother deer stopped and stood directly in front of his car. She wouldn't let him pass. He eventually gets out thinking he'd scare her away, but the mama deer wasn't scared. The driver noticed that she kept glancing behind her. It dawned on the man that she might need help, and he pulled over and literally followed behind the doe. All in all, the man jogged behind her for 10 minutes as she led him on a winding path. Eventually, she led him to her fawn that had been tangled in a soccer net near a home. The little one can't get out by itself. Of course, the man starts helping the deer. All the while, Mama Deer's motherly instincts are telling her to protect her young, and she starts running crazily around. Realizing she's stuck between a rock and a hard place, she has no choice but to just trust the man. After a few minutes, the Good Samaritan freed the baby, but that's not exactly where the story ends. A few minutes down the road, as the man is walking back to his car, blown away, lo and behold, the mother and baby stop him on the side of the road. It's like she was making her baby go thank the man for saving her. It's pretty incredible. The baby walks over and submissively lays down as to show thanks, gratitude. I mean, this is really just nuts. I hope this is real. I hope this really happened. I don't have any reason to think it didn't, but man. Well, dang. I don't think I've ever seen that. Incredible how quickly that bird was on her. I wonder if she was holding something to feed it, or if she was there to film the hawk and just happened to get dive bombed. Crazy. I guess we all now know what the prey of these birds sees at their very last moments. This intriguing footage was shared on Instagram by a user named Paranoid Normal. It shows a seemingly ordinary scene from a security camera looking over a back alley where a few young kids are seen swiping some bikes. The video starts off as a seemingly ordinary scene from a security camera looking over a back alley. As we continue, we see a few young kids are stealing these bikes. But keep an eye on one of the kids who goes back for another bike. As he does, something sketchy happens. Just watch it. You'll see a pair of shadowy legs move to the right. The figure then reappears, reaching towards the boy who turns to investigate. Creepy. The figure reemerges once before the video abruptly ends. In the comments, many folks were quick to call this a shadow person sighting. You see, there's a theory among paranormal enthusiasts suggesting that shadow people are a kind of spiritual entity that coexist in our reality. Some speculate they're wandering souls, while others propose they might be interdimensional beings or even extraterrestrials. Whatever they are, a striking number of people across the globe report seeing these shadow beings in a way that's eerily similar, particularly those who suffer from insomnia or sleep paralysis. They often recount seeing shadowy figures in their peripheral vision. So begs the question, are these shadowy figures even real? With the sheer volume of reports, the abundance of testimonials, and countless videos appearing to capture them, it's hard not to ponder their existence. Anyhow, I'd love to know what you guys think. I'm not too familiar with shadow people, but I'm interested.
About a month ago, we wasn't really certain about what existed out here or what we really had. And we started getting suspicious because we were sitting on the porch and it was completely quiet outside.
This next clip is pretty crazy. It tells the tale of an unusual visitor trying to break into a family's home just before a big storm. A month ago, this unsuspecting family living in the backwoods had little idea about the creature lurking in their vicinity. Unusual events began to unfold as the family was enjoying a calm evening on their porch. They heard a loud knock coming from a distance of roughly 50 yards, and that obviously sent chills. And it was loud enough and weird enough that it sent chills down their spine. The father, a retired Air Force serviceman, was in the middle of his evening ritual, smoking his hookah, a habit he picked up during his service years. Almost 5 minutes after the first knock, they heard a roaring sound echoing from half a mile away. It seemed as though the creature that caused the initial disruption had swiftly moved to a different location. Despite their children making light of the situation, their curiosity was piqued when their neighbor, a highway patrolman, reported similar experiences. This newfound realization seemed to confirm their initial suspicions. As the days passed, they experienced more strange incidents. like recurring knocks moving across the property and an unidentifiable whoop echoing from the tree line. The pace of these eerie events picked up, with the family feeling as though the creature had grown bolder. The climax of this chilling sequence happened just a couple of nights ago. Amid the deafening silence of the night, they heard a tree break. The sound was so terrifying it made them forget their security shotgun on the porch and rush inside their house, visibly shaken. Dad had to muster the courage and step outside with his son to retrieve the firearm. The aftermath revealed a broken tree not more than 30 feet from the house. Intriguingly, this coincided with an incoming hurricane. And honestly, the family wondered if maybe the atmospheric changes were affecting the behavior of this creature. Further exploration led them to discover a tree structure, ingeniously engineered and not characteristic of natural fall, that seemed to provide an overlook of their home. They found handprints too, that were hard to remove due to the oily residue. They even found wood chippings and what seemed to be possible droppings of the creature. On recounting their experiences, they also remembered an incident from the previous year, where they heard fast approaching footsteps in the stillness of the night. It prompted an instinctual sprint towards the safety of their house. One intriguing finding is how these events seem to correspond with the family's use of a hookah, a variable that changed in their daily routine. Unsettling prints were discovered on the windows, and most strangely, only on the windows through which the interiors of the house could be seen. As the mystery deepens, the family prepares for the upcoming storm, left with more questions than answers. Are these series of events caused by Bigfoot, as they suspect? Or is there another explanation? I'll let you be the judge. But let me know if you guys have heard anything like this. Bigfoot being attracted to a hookah, the oily residue of prints, the makeshift home that allowed him to peer into their house. Captured in Tampa, Florida, more specifically the Eagles golf course, a group of guys ready to tee off see these two massive 11-foot gators fighting near the pond. You can see they're twisted up and it's hard to tell who has the upper hand, but it appears the larger one is getting the better of the smaller one. Now, this isn't as uncommon as you might think, it's just pretty uncommon to catch it on film on a golf course. Gators fighting like this is usually because of one of three things. Territorial disputes. Gators are very territorial, and a larger gator may attack a smaller one that has wandered into his territory. Or two gators of similar size might be fighting over prime real estate. Next is mating rights. Male gators often fight over the right to mate with females. These fights can be quite aggressive, and it's not uncommon for the gators to inflict serious injuries on each other. And last but not least is food. If food is scarce, alligators may fight over prey or a specific hunting ground. This is less common than territorial or mating disputes, but can occur under the right conditions. After the two unlock from each other, the other gator is visibly tired and shaken. You can actually hear the man say, "This one can barely stand up." His buddy quickly chimes in saying, I wouldn't say that. He can still be on you in a few seconds." Eventually, the two gators make it back into the water. It's cool to see the crowd that has gathered to watch the battle. There seems to be a backup on the tee box, as they say. Another cool thing is that the man was able to pick up an alligator tooth. And if you look around during the video, there looks to be a few of them on the ground. Really cool souvenirs. I bet if we asked him though, I'm pretty sure he'd say having both his legs still connected to his body is a better souvenir. Anyhow, awesome footage. Do not look for your golf ball near that water. Over the years, countless sightings of an unidentified aerial object have been reported over Medellin, Colombia, sparking speculations of an extraterrestrial vehicle observing the region. A collection of these occurrences was put together by the Instagram user BD Maestro #1. The most recent sighting occurred on August 3rd of 2022 as a group of tourists spotted an unusual object hovering near the Medellin airport. As you can see from the video, the object is distinctly different from the plane that is flying just beneath it. Before this, on June 27th, a similar object was reported hovering above the city, and it was sighted again on April 9th. Here, the object seems to be moving rather than remaining stationary. The sightings continued on January 10th, and it was even reported as far back as December of 2020, where it was observed amid thick clouds. There's a long history of UFO sightings in Colombia, with hundreds of reports registered over the past several decades. Adding to the mystery and eeriness of these sightings are stories of a UFO-obsessed cult that disappeared in the late 1990s. Stella Maris was a doomsday cult established in Cartagena, Colombia in 1989 by Rodolfo Perez. The group predicted an apocalyptic event that would spell disaster for humanity. As per their charismatic leader, survival was only possible through contact with an alien race that would select a few chosen to evacuate the planet. Now, while this sounds like typical doomsday cult rhetoric, the events of June and July of 1999 make this story truly extraordinary. Local law enforcement had been closely monitoring the cult's activities due to a growing number of reports from concerned relatives, who were worried their family members were being manipulated and could be in danger. In July of 1999, increased activity was observed at the Stella Maris compound. Up to 100 members, including entire families, were seen heading into the wilderness, apparently preparing for some kind of event. Officially, they were going to their annual retreat in the Sierra Nevada mountains. However, it soon became clear they were headed towards a jungle area known for frequent UFO sightings. After that, no contact was ever made with them again. It was as if the entire group of 100 vanished without a trace. After an extensive search, no sign of the group was found. Their compound remained untouched. No one returned. All their possessions were still there. But again, the entire property eerily deserted. Despite a thorough search of the area, no evidence, bodies, or personal belongings were ever found. The disappearance of all 100 members sparked numerous theories. Some suggested a mass suicide akin to Jonestown, but no bodies were found. Others believed they might have been abducted, as the wilderness they were last seen in is known to have dangerous tribes. The idea was initially floated that they'd been abducted due to the area they were last seen in being notorious for militant activity. However, no ransom demands came through, and there was no tangible proof to support the kidnapping theory. After endless months of thorough searching with virtually no substantial leads, speculation started to shift towards the actual possibility of alien abduction. Considering their faith in their quest to find these UFOs, it was an eerily fitting assumption, and it started to gain steam. The perplexing disappearance of as many as 100 individuals without a trace is indeed baffling. The fate of the Stella Maris cult still remains shrouded in mystery to this day. Over time, a few marginal members have stepped forward, expressing their skepticism towards the existence of aliens. But this does nothing to explain the whereabouts of the people who walked into the jungle that fateful date in July of 1999. None of them have ever turned up. And if all of this isn't eerie enough, the entire 100-member count of the Stella Maris cult still appears on Colombia's list of missing persons, and the investigation is yet to find closure. Let me know what you guys think about this. This is unreal. This next eerie snapshot was shared with us by viewer Carol Botha. She tells us that this disconcerting picture has been hanging in her friend's childhood house for years. It's been there since the parents purchased the property decades ago, a part of the house's history they chose to keep. The photograph shows a horse standing rigid at full attention, but if you look closer into the background, you'll see a mysterious shadow that suggests the presence of a rider on the horse. Now, that's spine-tingling in itself, but there's more. The homeowner recounts that often swarms of flies, as many as 100, gather on the picture frame. You can even spot a fly in the top left-hand corner of this image. Now, if you delve into the paranormal realm, many experts propose that if a particular location or item attracts a swarm of flies, it might signify a curse or a demonic presence. Through the ages, flies have symbolically been linked to death and pestilence. Take, for example, the Mesopotamian deity Nergal, often associated with death. He represents suffering and catastrophe and is commonly represented as a swarm of flies. Later on, Christians began associating him with demonic entities. So it's fair to ask, what's the story with this photograph? What's the reason for the shadowy rider and the peculiar attraction of hundreds of flies to its frame? Honestly, the more you examine the image, the more disturbing it comes. Now, while I do think it's sad that these beautiful animals are locked in this small area, I'm not going to get on a soapbox here. This cool video here, taken by a park goer, catches the moment a bird somehow finds its way inside the lion enclosure. The bird is looking for a way out and flies across the enclosure, immediately catching the attention of the cats, and they're hot on his heels. The hunting instinct is so strong in these animals. Look at how she leaps off that rock and scaled the fence to grab the bird. Gosh, they're so agile. Now, picture yourself doing that. Right. Same here. Very, very impressive. Incredible footage here of a bald eagle swooping down to catch a fish. Watch. It's so impressive, it eats the fish mid-flight. Just beautiful creatures. I mean, this guy isn't messing around. As the video's about to end, it looks like he's just on to the next fish. Amazing footage here from Old Skull Outdoor, taken in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. A man and a few of his buddies were first on scene for this battle between a black bear and a feral hog. And before we talk about the details, this footage shows two of the most powerful creatures in these mountains, hands down. I mean, this bear is trying to drag this hog up the mountain, and the hog is holding his own. He even gets loose from the bear. A viewer from the area put this in perspective. He said that this just isn't some feral hog that bear is trying to tear apart. That's a Russian razorback. They were released in this area over 100 years ago for sport hunting. They haven't completely taken over like the feral hogs in the other parts of the country, but they do tend to get a lot bigger and they are definitely a lot tougher. It's just amazing footage, and it's hard not to go back and forth marveling at the strength of these creatures. The bear eventually overtakes the hog, and the footage is I'll let you check it out yourself. Plus, it's over 15, just a wonderful camera capture to remind us how small we are in this world. This video is pretty good. As you can see, the dogs are guarding this gas station. Taken somewhere in India, you'll quickly see while the dogs are making all this racket. Yep. Some lionesses have made their way to the gas station. The dogs are obviously no match for these lions. Now, I don't know if they're there to protect the gas station or if they're just wild dogs, but they're obviously no match for these lions. And probably the craziest part of this entire video is when those headlights pop up on the top left of our screen. I mean, can you guys imagine driving by a gas station and seeing two lions roaming the parking lot? You want to take a quick walk to 7-Eleven and you have to worry about a lion attack? The world is amazing. We're all aware that parrots have the ability to mimic human speech, with numerous amusing and endearing videos on the internet as proof. But were you aware that the other bird species can also exhibit this ability? A video posted by Real Horror Talk on TikTok showcases a raven at the beach exhibiting such a capability. Suddenly, the raven breaks into speech with a deep, eerily human voice. Take a listen.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Good boy.
If this were a parrot, the scenario might be perceived as comical, yet hearing these words from a large, glossy black raven imparts a rather sinister undertone, if I do say so myself. One viewer mentioned how disturbing it would be to walk through the woods late at night, only to hear such a voice.
Come on. Good boy.
On top of that, folklore often associates ravens with misfortune and death. But they can also symbolize foresight and revelation, lest we forget. In Swedish mythology, they are considered the spirits of those who were murdered and did not receive a Christian burial, while in German tales they represent lost souls. Whether it's the bird's symbolic significance or its particular spine-chilling voice that makes this video so unsettling, it's likely that your next encounter with a wild raven will evoke a different reaction. This is just some really cool footage of some wild boars and their piglets. They're just traipsing through this little stream. I've featured this guy on this channel before, Michael Outside. He has some awesome trail camera footage. I mean, this guy really knows where to put these trail cameras. His content is always chock full of wild animals. I think he's out in Arizona, but always has some really cool mountain lions and just has some really good stuff, so check him out.